Hey YouTube, it's Robbie. Today's video is going to be about Daimoku, or the Buddhist chant Namu Myōhō Renge Kyō, which is part of the daily practice of Nichiren Buddhists, which is a form of Buddhism by Nichiren Daishonin, something which is actually practiced by some, I think, 12 million people. No, probably more than that. I think it was 20 million people worldwide. Anyway, so Namu Myōhō Renge Kyō is the chant or prayer that Nichiren Buddhists use to enrich their lives each day, every morning and every night, or any moment in time when they feel a need to get courage, strength, vitality. My journey into Buddhism has only just begun, and I decided to create this page to share my experiences and chart my path along this newfound faith of mine. So I thought I would start by making this video about Namu Myōhō Renge Kyō and explaining what it's all about. I have some information here which I shall read, and hopefully it will make sense. So, Namu Myōhō Renge Kyō. It's not easy to give a short answer that answers all aspects of what Namu Myōhō Renge Kyō is. Here are two answers. It is the title of the heart, and it is the title and the heart of the Lotus Sutra, and it is the law that explains the workings of life. The Lotus Sutra, the Buddhist teaching or sutra, which explains that everyone has the same potential as the Buddha, is the Lotus Sutra. The sutras were originally taught in Sanskrit, and the Lotus Sutra was known as Saddharma Pundarika Sutra. As the teachings of Buddhism spread, they were translated into languages of the cultures they traveled to. The Lotus Sutra was translated into Chinese, and when it reached Japan, it was known as the Myoho Renge Kyo. The title of a sutra was considered to encapsulate the teaching it contained. It was also the practice to place the word Nam, or devotion, before the names of the Buddhist teachings or characters in order to praise them. Nichiren Daishonin taught that the act of praising the Lotus Sutra would enable the qualities of the Buddha, the reservoir, inert in our lives to emerge. Therefore he placed the word Nam in front of the title of the Lotus Sutra, Myoho Renge Kyo. This appears very simple, but the practice itself is quite profound. The law of life. As we consider each of the constituent parts of Namu Myōhō Renge Kyo, we start to sense its profundity. Namu Myōhō Renge Kyo is referred to as the law of life. Although it is just 6 syllables, each signifies profound truths that go to the heart of the universe, life and death, as well as the law of cause and effect. Nam. Nam is an action word. The act of praising our potential will make it emerge. Nam is the word that turns this principle from a theory into reality. The Lotus Sutra, although profound, is merely a teaching, but Namu Myōhō Renge Kyo is a practice that will have actual results. The second is Myoho. Myoho explains at least 2 major principles of life: the relationship between life and death, as well as the relationship between our highest or Buddha state and all our other 9 conditions or states of life. How do the teachings of Buddhism view the relationship between life and death? Well, we all have a birthday. That is quite simple, the day when we emerged into the world as a baby. We also have some idea of what is happening to us in the 9 or so months before we emerge from the womb. Before that, however, other than the knowledge that a sperm and an egg came together at a particular moment, things are not so clear. Biologists cannot give definitive answers to where or what our consciousness was before conception, and philosophers have also struggled with this for centuries. Buddhism teaches that all our constituent parts, not just physical ones, but mental and spiritual as well, existed in a state of latency, waiting for the right conditions to emerge before we could start the process of being born after conception. Before conception, we are latent or myo. This means that our energy is waiting for the necessary circumstances before it can take on a physical form. Ho, law or phenomena, describes the manifest state and particularly the emergence of a new baby born into the world. We remain alive, manifest, until the point when, whatever reason, our bodies can no longer support our lives, the body dies and the constituent parts separate. The body decays, and at this point we cease to be Ho and return once more to the latent state of Myo. Buddhism teaches that life is a cycle. We emerge from Myo, become Ho, and return to Myo again. This rhythm continues forever. Similarly, the cycle of the seasons echoes this process. We see new growth in spring, maturity in summer, harvest and decline in autumn, before a period of apparently bleak withdrawal in winter. But winter never fails to turn into spring once more, and the cycle will always start again. This cycle of Myo and Ho is like sleeping and recharging before the next day starts. But chanting Namu Myōhō Renge Kyō is drawing from and infusing our lives with life force. Chanting itself works according to the fundamental principles of Myo and Ho. We feel our Buddhahood at work before we chanting has caused it to we feel our Buddhahood at work because our chanting has caused it to appear according to another fundamental law principle, Renge, which is about how the effect exists simultaneously with the cause. So, Renge. This literally means lotus flower. The lotus flower rests on the surface of a pond, its roots going deep into the water and drawing onto the nutrients it finds in the mud at the bottom. This image of the lotus flower also means that the Buddha is not a perfect being, detached from realities of life, either in a monastery or in some other unearthly realm. Rather, the Buddha is an aspect of our lives, which we can draw on. It is because of the trials and tribulations of real everyday life in this world that the Buddha qualities can be revealed. Renge signifies the process of cause and effect at work deep within the life of each person, and which we are ordinarily caught up in and unable to change fundamentally. Finally, Kyo. The word Kyo literally means sutra or teaching. It is the vibration of our voice which is important in our Buddhist practice. It is said the voice does the Buddha's work. This is why we chant Namu Myōhō Renge Kyō aloud rather than performing it as silent meditation. Kyo is an interconnectedness of all phenomena, and how our prayer, sound of chanting can affect people and situations out of our immediate sphere. So that's the explanation of Namu Myōhō Renge Kyō, and if you want that I can always send it to you in an email or point you to a website for you to read some more. So how do we do it? Well, what I've learned is we have some beads, a bit like this. Some of you might have beads that have got little balls on either side. Well, apparently we put the ones that look like a head, where there's a head and two hands, that go on the left hand side like that, and on the other hand we twist it in the middle and put it in the middle like this. And this symbolizes your life. The beads in a way symbolize the human, or you. And you're putting your hands together and you're saying, I'm taking my life into my own hands. I'm not blaming anybody else. I'm not going to allow anyone else to control me. I'm going to say, this is my life and I'm taking charge. And we chant Namu Myōhō Renge Kyō for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and consider the wants and hopes of your life and the things that you need, peace and happiness for yourself, for people around you, and that's it really. You then have to learn what's called the Lotus Sutra, which is quite long, and I still have to learn it, and it's very, very long, and people say it very fast, and I can't keep up, but I'm gonna learn it. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I sure hope you enjoy the Daimoku that I'm about to play. Take care. Bye.